Welcome back to the channel, US Rare Coins News, Top 1. Today we are diving into one of the most fascinating coins from the 50 State Quarter series, the 2007 Montana State Quarter. Now, you might think it's just another quarter, but this little piece of metal hides some secrets that could make collectors stop in their tracks. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll see why some of these coins are fetching serious money at auctions. At first glance, it's easy to miss the details. On the back, Montana shines with a breathtaking landscape, a classic image of a bison standing proudly against the majestic Rocky Mountains. There's also a nod to the state's natural beauty and wildlife, which makes it instantly recognizable. But here's the kicker: some of these quarters have subtle variations that make them extremely rare. And we're going to explore exactly what those are. The Montana quarter isn't just about aesthetics. Some coins from the 2007 mintage have tiny minting errors that can dramatically increase their value. One of the most famous is a misaligned double die, where the lettering on the coin appears slightly doubled if you look closely. Another is a faint extra ridge near the rim, barely noticeable unless you're examining it under magnification. These are the kinds of details that seasoned collectors hunt for. Imagine holding a coin in your hand that represents not just history, but a moment of accidental artistry from the US Mint. Montana became the 41st state to be featured in this series, and the quarter captures that state pride perfectly. Fun fact: this coin was minted in both Denver and Philadelphia, so if you flip it over, the tiny D or P mark tells you exactly where it came from. It's like a secret code for collectors, and sometimes that code determines the value. Speaking of value, while most Montana quarters are worth face value, these rare error coins can sell for anywhere between $10 to over $100 at auction, depending on their condition and rarity. That's a huge jump from just 25 cents, and it's why collectors pay close attention to every little detail, even scratches, shine, and how the coin was stored over the years. Now, I have to ask you, do you own this coin? Or maybe you have a favorite state quarter in your collection? Drop a comment and let me know. Sometimes just knowing which coins people actually hold is more fascinating than any auction record. When you're examining a Montana quarter, use good lighting and a magnifying glass to spot the fine lines in the mountains and the bison's fur. A close-up B-roll of the coin catching the light really shows off the engraving and texture, and it helps viewers appreciate why collectors obsess over these details. Small imperfections can be worth big money, and every coin tells a story of how it was struck, handled, and preserved. Before we wrap up, remember, this isn't just a piece of change. It's a snapshot of Montana's history, a collectible with potential value, and a conversation starter for anyone who loves coins. If you're hunting for state quarters, this one deserves a closer look. So, what do you think? Would you add the Montana quarter to your collection? Or maybe there's another state quarter that caught your eye? Comment below and let's talk coins. If you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to like this video, hit subscribe, and check out our other coin stories. There's plenty more history and surprises waiting. This script naturally builds curiosity, includes mini cliffhangers, and is visually rich for camera presentation with suggested B-roll shots. It's written conversationally so a host can deliver it without pauses or scripted emotion labels. Top 2. Today we are taking a closer look at one of the most iconic coins in the 50 State Quarter series, the 2000 Virginia State Quarter. Now, you might think it's just another quarter you've seen in your change, but some of these coins have surprises that even collectors can't believe. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you're going to see why a few of these quarters have serious value. At first glance, the Virginia quarter seems simple enough. On the back, it features the famous three ships, the Susan Constant, Godspeed, and Discovery, that carried the first English settlers to Jamestown. It's a tribute to Virginia's role in American history and its nickname, the birthplace of a nation. But there's more than history here. Some of these quarters have tiny quirks, rare errors, and even misprints that can make them worth far more than their face value. One of the most interesting features collectors look for is a double die error. On some coins, if you look really closely at the date or lettering, you might notice faint doubling, almost like the mint pressed the design twice by mistake. There are also occasional die cracks or small rim anomalies, and while they may seem like imperfections, they're exactly what makes certain quarters collectible. Virginia was the very first state to be featured in the 50-state quarters program in the year 2000, which already gives this coin historical significance. The detail in the ships, the water, and even the sails is remarkable, and under good lighting, you can really see the craftsmanship that went into it. A close-up shot of the coin catching light highlights every ridge and line, and it's these tiny details that can determine whether a collector pays 25 cents or $20 for it. Here's a fun fact: the Virginia quarter was minted in both Philadelphia and Denver, so the tiny P or D mark tells you where it came from. Some collectors even seek out both mint marks to complete their sets. The combination of historical importance, design detail, and potential mint errors makes this coin a must-see for collectors. Now, the value. Most Virginia quarters are just worth face value, but rare errors and high-grade coins can sell for anywhere from $5 to over $50, depending on condition. That's why coin enthusiasts inspect them with magnifying glasses, proper lighting, and sometimes even microscopes. A well-preserved quarter from 2000 with a noticeable minting error can suddenly become a mini treasure. Do you own a Virginia quarter? Or maybe you've spotted a rare error in your change without realizing it. Drop a comment and tell us. Sometimes the most interesting coins are the ones sitting right in our pockets. When filming this coin, close-ups of the ships and water lines make a big difference. B-roll shots showing the quarter spinning in light, or being compared side by side with a normal one, really help viewers appreciate what makes it special. Highlighting small errors or doubled lines keeps the audience engaged and makes them want to examine their own coins at home. Before we finish, remember this isn't just a piece of change. It's history, a collectible, and potentially a valuable coin if you know what to look for. The Virginia quarter represents the very start of a series that would take us through every state, and it's a fascinating glimpse into American history in your pocket. So, which state quarter would you love to add to your collection? Have you ever found a rare error in your change? Comment below and share your story. If you liked exploring this coin, hit like, subscribe, and check out our other videos. There's a whole world of coins waiting to be discovered. This script flows naturally, builds curiosity with mini cliffhangers, includes clear suggestions for visuals, and encourages audience interaction throughout. Top 3. Today we are diving into one of the most iconic coins from the 50-state quarter series, the 2001 New York State Quarter. You might think it's just another coin in your change, but some of these quarters hide details and quirks that can make collectors do a double take. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll see why this coin is more than just 25 cents in your pocket. At first glance, it's easy to recognize. The New York quarter features the Statue of Liberty, standing tall and proud, with the state outline behind it and the word Excelsior beneath. That's the state motto, meaning ever upward. But here's the thing: some of these coins have tiny differences, mint errors, or variations that make them highly sought after by collectors. And we're going to uncover those today. One of the most intriguing features is the double die error on certain coins. If you look closely at the letters or the date, you might notice a subtle doubling effect. There are also occasional die cracks or minor rim imperfections. Most people don't see them in their change, but for collectors, these small details are what turn an ordinary coin into a collectible. The historical context makes this coin even more interesting. New York was the 11th state to be featured in the 50-state quarters program, and the design pays tribute to the state's symbol of freedom. The Statue of Liberty itself is a gift from France, and it has been welcoming visitors to New York Harbor for over a century. This coin captures that iconic image in miniature, right in your hand. The mint mark also matters. Coins were produced in Philadelphia and Denver, so a tiny P or D shows where your coin came from. Some collectors try to get both, and coins with certain mint errors can fetch more than their face value. The details on the statue, the lettering, and even the water lines behind it are critical to spot a rare variation. A close-up shot with good lighting really brings these features to life and shows why collectors care so much. Now, the value. Most New York quarters are just worth 25 cents, but rare variations in high grades can sell for $5, $10, or even $50 at auction, depending on condition and minting errors. So if you happen to have one of these with a subtle double die or die crack, you could be holding a mini treasure. Do you own a New York quarter? Or maybe you found an error coin in your change without realizing it. Drop a comment and share your story. Sometimes the coolest coins are hiding in plain sight. When showing this coin on camera, close-ups of the statue, the lettering, and the state outline make a big difference. B-roll of the coin spinning under light or being compared side by side with a normal quarter really highlights what makes a collectible coin special. Those small imperfections are exactly what keep collectors hunting for more. Before we wrap up, remember this isn't just a quarter. It's a snapshot of history, a collectible item, and a potential small investment if you know what to look for. The New York quarter combines iconic imagery, historical significance, and rare mint errors into a coin that's definitely worth a closer look. Which state quarter would you love to add to your collection? Have you ever found a rare error coin in your change? Comment below and let's talk coins. If you enjoyed this deep dive, hit like, subscribe, and check out our other videos. There's a whole world of coins waiting to be explored. This version flows naturally, builds curiosity with mini cliffhangers, and is visually oriented with suggestions for close-ups and B-roll without breaking the conversational tone. Top 4. Today we are taking a closer look at one of the most interesting coins from the 50-state quarter series, the 2005 Kansas State Quarter. You might think it's just a regular quarter you've seen 100 times in your change, but this coin has details that make collectors stop and take a second look. By the end of this video, you'll see why some of these quarters are worth more than face value, and a few are even considered rare finds. At first glance, the Kansas quarter tells a story of the state's rich agricultural history. It features a striking design with a sunflower, the state's official flower, in the foreground, and a classic barn with fields stretching into the horizon behind it. The detail is incredible, capturing the essence of Kansas life. But here's the part that most people miss. Some of these coins have subtle minting quirks that can make them valuable. One of the most sought-after features is the double die error. On certain Kansas quarters, you might notice that the letters in Kansas or the date appear slightly doubled if you look closely. There are also occasional die cracks or tiny rim anomalies. Most people never notice these in their pockets, but for collectors, these little imperfections are exactly what turn a regular quarter into a collectible gem. Kansas was the 34th state to be featured in the 50-state quarters program, and the design captures the state's identity perfectly. Sunflowers symbolize not just beauty but resilience, and the rolling fields behind the barn tell the story of generations of farmers shaping the land. A close-up shot showing the sunflower's petals and the barn's details really brings the coin to life and makes it clear why collectors love it. The mint mark also matters. Coins were produced in Philadelphia and Denver, so a tiny P or D tells you where your coin came from. Some collectors specifically look for both mint marks to complete their sets, and if your coin has a rare error or a pristine finish, it can increase its market value significantly. Speaking of value, most Kansas quarters are worth just 25 cents, but those with notable errors or in high grades can sell for anywhere from $5 to $50, depending on condition. A quarter with a well-preserved finish and a subtle minting error can suddenly become a hidden treasure in your collection. Do you own a Kansas quarter? Or maybe you found an error coin without realizing it. Drop a comment and let me know. Sometimes the most interesting coins are hiding right in our pockets. When filming this coin, close-ups of the sunflower, the barn, and the horizon really make the design pop. B-roll of the quarter spinning under good lighting or compared side by side with a normal coin highlights what makes a collectible coin special. Those tiny imperfections, like doubled lines or die cracks, are exactly what collectors hunt for. Before we finish, remember this isn't just a piece of change. It's history, a collectible, and potentially a small investment if you know what to look for. The Kansas quarter combines iconic imagery, state pride, and rare minting quirks into one coin that's worth a second glance. Which state quarter would you love to add to your collection? Have you ever spotted a rare error coin in your change? Comment below and share your story. If you enjoyed exploring this coin, hit like, subscribe, and check out our other videos. There's a whole world of coins waiting to be discovered. This version is conversational, visually oriented, and includes mini cliffhangers while keeping the energy high. If you want, I can make a version with timed b-roll and visual cues for every line so the editing team knows exactly where to cut to close-ups, spinning shots, or highlighting errors. That version is camera-ready.do. You want me to create that enhanced version too?